You know how cool it is to come on here and see, that you're already here. It's really cool. Thank you, Kate 17. I'm glad you're here. My name is Robin, reporting live at 5:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Ontario, Canada. Admittedly, I am not feeling very well, and my poor son is feeling much, much worse. So we are sending him healing vibes that it's nothing serious. So he's at the doctor with my husband. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. So my name's Robin, reporting live. We want to use the internet for good. Is there something that you want to put out there in the universe that you want for yourself? For me, it would be that I don't end up getting really ill and I just need to go to bed extra early tonight. But what do you want? If you could put something out there, what would it be for you? Yes, of course, I remember seeing your name all the time. Well, not often. I feel like it's usually in the evenings. Um, but I'm glad you're here. Is there something that you'd like? Hey, Lauren's here too. And Lord, that means you're up late or not too late because I was thinking I want to make sure that you always get a good night's sleep, that you always get a good night's sleep. So I can't remember how far ahead it is. So hopefully you are getting a good night's sleep. I'm wondering what you guys want to put out there. What do you feel like, Lauren? I'm still waiting for your artwork. Kate 17, what do you feel like? What would you want to put out there into the universe? If you could use the internet for good, if you could write down what you would want for the future, for the world, for other people, what would you write down? I was just saying, Lauren, that I'm not feeling well. Tommy's not feeling well. He's at the doctor with my husband. And but I mean, I'm just beginning, I feel like, just because of the throat, but Tommy's been sick for a while. Lauren says, I was just about to say, oh, wait. I was just about to say this is what I'd be putting out there for myself is a good night's sleep. Laugh out loud. Yay, a good night's sleep. Kate says, I'm sorry I missed every single stream by accident. I'm glad you're here today. It's coming, I promise, Lauren says. And IDK, is it I don't care or I don't know? I can't remember. No, it can't be care because care begins with a C. I can't remember. A good night's sleep. Yeah, exactly. That's what I need too, a good night's sleep. I'm going to go to bed extra early because it's 5:05 p.m. here Eastern Standard Time. I got to do a couple more things for work just so I know that it's all done. Um, and then I'll go to sleep. But I got to see what happened with Tommy because Nick called and asked if he's like, has he ever had chicken pox? And I was like, no. Tommy's never had chicken pox, so let's hope that's not what it is, because that would be terrible. Have you had chicken pox, anybody? Anyone else? Oh, it means I don't know. Okay, thank you, Kate. See, I appreciate your reminder. Have you ever had chicken pox, anyone? Has anyone ever had it? I don't think I have, but I can't remember. I can't remember. Or maybe I did. I don't know. But I hope that's not what it is. We're not going to put that out there. Let's just hope everything's good. We're hoping for good health, happiness, you know, using our time wisely. Kate says, I'm going to a wedding tomorrow for my aunt. Oh, or aunt. That's beautiful. That's so exciting. That sounds fun. I hope you have a beautiful outfit planned or something that you're excited to wear. That's always fun. And to celebrate people. That's a nice thing to put out there too, to celebrate love and people and family and have fun. Hopefully, get to eat some good food and maybe even dance. That's always fun. Would you think that that's what's going to happen? I think that would be super, super cool. So, oh, wait. Again, I wish that I was in a better energy for this because it feels terrible that I can't bring that today the way I normally would, especially just waiting to see what's happening with my son. You know that feeling? But there's nothing I can think or say or do that could change anything. Kate says, if I had to, oh, if I had to, oh. um, yeah. What are your thoughts on that, folks? What are your thoughts on recognizing the fact that everything is almost based on our own thoughts? The way we think about something seems to be just, how we experience our reality. Hey, Mr. Friend's here too. Are you up late? How late is it? Because you need a good night's sleep too. I was just thinking that. Uh, I would hope that you you get a good night's sleep. But I'm so glad you're here and I'm so glad to see your name because the night crowd's different than the day crowd. Yeah. Oh, it's 10 p.m. Okay, that's reasonable. So if you go to sleep like 10:30, that's good. Um, for me, it's 5:06 p.m. Lauren says can't be on top of every day, all day. Yeah, you're a worried mom. It's understandable, Robin. Be kinder to yourself. Yes, thank you. I appreciate you saying that, Lauren. Mr. Friend, Lauren was just saying that because Tommy hasn't been feeling well, and Nick took him to the doctor, and he called me to say like, "Hey, he hasn't had chicken pox, right?" And I'm like, "No, why?" And he was like, "Don't worry, I'm just finding out." So we're gonna figure that out. Let's hope that they're okay because that would suck. My throat hurts. And I was saying that I just feel like I'm not bringing that energy like I normally would to a live stream. And Lauren reminded myself to be kinder. I didn't want to cancel this live stream because my throat hurts. I had to do that for work last week. Hey, Nicholas Cage is here. XO sending me lots of love. Oh, Mr. Friend says I hope they're okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate you rooting for me. Oh, look, Kate says I couldn't sleep until 5 a.m. last night. I wonder, I mean, that would be awful. And I think that if we get into the habit of that, like let's say we're looking at our phone too much or, you know, being distracted with that, that would be really tough. So I hope you get a good night's sleep today. That would be exactly what you need. I think sometimes we can all use a good night's sleep, and maybe the phone does keep some people up, especially that short form content. I wonder. So, if that's something that you want, let's put it out there in the chat. I want a good night's sleep. I want to feel rested when I wake up. I want to feel intentional with my time. I want to know that my thoughts have so much control over how I'm feeling. And if we can really focus on that and really make changes to improve, especially when we're catching ourselves in that thought loop, you know? So, sometimes I think, Kate, maybe some people can't sleep or have trouble sleeping because they're overthinking too. So I wonder. That's what happens to me. If I have too much on my mind, it's not that I don't have trouble falling asleep, but I have trouble if I wake up to fall back asleep. Because then my mind starts thinking. It starts thinking of the list of things I have to do. So tell me, I was saying that, if you want to put it in the chat, something that you want for your future, your hopes and dreams and goals, if you want to put it in the chat, we'll say it out there. Some people want a good night's sleep. Some people are hoping for health right now and just, you know, but whatever happens, it'll be all good. It always is, right? And it's so interesting when we're in these challenges. So if you do want to put something out there that's good in the comments, please do say it. I could use your help today. I could really use your help. And I love reading your names and comments. Mario, Kate says. Mario, see? We've got some in-depth, deep stuff going on today. And I do apologize, like I said, or I don't know how I'm feeling today. I feel like my goal is to use the internet for good and bring enthusiasm. Hey, look, Dally says ban phones from the bedroom, ban TVs from the bedroom. Yes, that's so smart. Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't have a TV in our bedroom. I heard that a long time ago too about TVs in the bedroom killing romance. So we never had a TV in any room that we owned together. Mr. Friend says, I need to remember some important information. Yeah, put that out there. My memory's getting stronger. Like, if anyone can do it and train themselves and put it out there, it would be you. It would be you. It would be us. Repetition, all of that. That's what's going to help us the most is repeating the things we want, talking about it, researching it, trying different actions, doing different things. That's the only way. Experimenting. Lauren says, I have an issue with, intrusive thoughts right as I'm trying to fall asleep. I close my eyes, ready to sleep. Then my brain is like, remember that time this bad thing happened? Meditation is helping. There you go. Lauren, I love that again, you have the problem right in your comment and then your solution and what you're working on in the same comment. That's what I love about you. I appreciate that. Oh, Kate says I have PTSD. Oh my God, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And again, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, this is only my personal perspective on this channel. But I hope you can work through this because if you believe you can and you work through it, you absolutely can. And I do think that sometimes people's pain ends up being their power later on. Maybe it takes time to figure that part out, but a lot of people, they say they're most powerful, and the way they can help and serve others comes from like their darkest or deepest pain. So I hope that you can find that value there. Declare the bedroom to be a work-free zone. Ah, Dolly. I hope I'm saying your name right, Dolly, because I have to bring my work laptop into my room after because my bed has that thing that elevates, and I feel like because I'm starting to feel sick, I want to get a handful of things done. So if I do end up feeling sick tomorrow, I don't feel stressed while I'm sick. You know what I mean? So I don't often do that, but I'm going to do that right after this live stream. But you're right. I agree with you. Work free zone, no TV. Kate says there, Their. Thank you. Mr. Friend says, my trauma caused dissociative disorder. I'm trying to work through it all now. There you go. And Mr. Friend, again, you're similar to Lauren, where, when you say something, you always have that strategy or the tip or the idea. So that's perfect. I do feel like we have to give ourselves more credit as humans, that humans are not just one thing. We're not just one label that we have or one incident that happened. You know, it doesn't have to define us. It doesn't have to be like that could just be one small part of something that happened, that you had to overcome or that you're working to overcome. I don't think it doesn't have to define us. So I do also believe that we have to be careful with our words sometimes. Like I have this or I'm working, I do feel like it would do us a good service to be more mindful of the words that we're using. Like, I shouldn't even be saying that I feel like I'm getting sick. Like, even that, I shouldn't be saying that. Um, you know, so yeah, it's interesting how we use words and then what we connect to. And the more, we don't want that to define us. So I think you can definitely work through that. And I love that you say you are. Can I be a mod for no absolute reason? Yeah, no, no. Lauren says grounding exercises help me with my dissociation. Hey, see, Mr. Friend, Lauren, can you elaborate? Lauren, I will let you elaborate on that because my understanding of grounding is like barefoot to the sand, to the dirt, to grass. There are some things that you can purchase, but I can't be an advocate. I do have one of them, but I can't be an advocate for it. Kate says, Lauren, you're grounded. She's naughty. She's grounded, right? But there's another type of grounding. And it is, apparently how humans are meant to be connected to the earth, the planet. Their bare feet to the ground, the sand. Lauren, I would love your experience. Kenneth Ford says, "Oh, hands in clay is grounding." Oh, yes. And we've all seen your work. Oh my gosh, I have to close this 1 second. We've all seen, oh no, that's fine. I think it's okay. We've seen your work. It's beautiful. I imagine, yes, touching clay, touching earth, nature. Lauren says, oh, Lauren has another technique called for grounding. It's the 5 4 3 2 1 things you see, hear, feel, touch, and smell. Oh, so when your mind is feeling, forgive me, and please do elaborate, when your mind is feeling a certain way, 5 4 3 2 1. Is it five things you have to focus on now? Five things you see, four things you hear. Is it three things you feel, two things you can touch, and one smell? And that's supposed to help you sort of ground and get back to center. That's my understanding of it. But Lauren, please do elaborate. Lauren, yes, my sister had told me something similar. I used it for panic attacks. Wow. See how you guys support each other in the chat. It's so beautiful. I love that. I love that. And that's such a good reminder for all of us. If you have to distract your mind, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're having a panic attack, and I'm not a doctor, I'm just the middleman here relaying information. You should always do your own research. Yes, Lauren says you do the 5 4 3 2 1 if you want to distract your mind or in a repetitive thought that, hey guys, this might even work for repetitive negative thoughts. If you're thinking about a work matter, for example, or something that happened or something from your past that you feel shame, maybe you can 5 4 3 2 1 that stuff. And like Lauren said, five things you see. I got a screenshot. Five things. So just if you want to distract your mind, you focus on five things you see, four things you hear, three things you feel, two things you can touch, and one thing you can smell. And that should distract your mind. Wow. Lauren says 5 things. Yeah, I appreciate that, folks. I think it's really cool. I was thinking of a different grounding. See, we had Kate that was like, you're grounded, which that's how I'm assuming you meant it, Kate, but I could be reading it wrong too. It's so interesting, the language, like the English language. I thought you meant grounding, like the grounding mat, the the barefoot to the ground, the grass, the soil. Thank you, Lauren, Mr. Friend says. Absolutely. Thank you all. I appreciate that, when you come here in the chat, you add so much value that this becomes better because of you. It becomes better because of the stuff you say, the things I get to read. We always learn from each other every single live stream. So despite the fact that, this is not 100%, you know, I'm glad that I didn't cancel. I'm really glad that I didn't cancel this live stream. I feel really lucky to have you here, and I feel grateful that we get to learn from each other. That 5 4 3 2 1 thing, like, I believe I've heard it in my lifetime, but it's not even something that I would have even thought of. And I do think it's applicable to intrusive thoughts. You can do that. You want to interrupt a thought pattern that you're having, or maybe you're worried. Like, let's say for if I'm worried, oh, my son's at the doctor, I'm waiting to hear, what my husband says is happening. Repeating that thought in my mind and worrying about it is not going to change anything. It's not going to make the phone ring faster or anything like that. So I do think that your technique, Lauren, or the technique that Lauren was kind enough to share, Mr. Friend's sister knows, is that 5 4 3 2 1, and that would be something that can be used in a lot of scenarios. Theo says, hey, how long have we been live today? I'd say about 17 minutes. 17 minutes, Theo. I'm glad you're here. We're sharing any good news, any tips. Maybe it doesn't have to be good news. Maybe it could be something you're struggling with and someone in the chat wants to offer a tip or suggestion. Or maybe you have a quote or tip or suggestion. Like, if we could make a live stream where we all got bits and pieces of information that can help improve our lives in some way, shape, or form, wouldn't that be well worth it? I feel like it would be well worth it. Lauren says it helps me in so many situations. This technique of counting down. Theo, I don't know if you were here for that part. Counting down 5 4 3 2 1, 5 things you. Oh, God. I'm going to butcher it now because the chat moved and it's not on there. But the things you hear, Theo, have you heard it? 4 things you see, something like that. It's in the chat if you scroll up. Kate says, I'm struggling about eating so much. Oh my gosh, I hear you. I feel like I struggle with making poor choices in some of the stuff that I'm eating. And it's a battle. It really is a battle. So I appreciate you saying that. And maybe we can reframe that. I'm making better food choices going forward. I'm going to make better food choices going forward. I think that when we know that something's a struggle, it feels like it's a challenge, it feels like a struggle, then, that's a win because now we know what we have to fix. When you don't know something, you don't know what the next right move is. Sometimes we all know what the next right move is. Theo says, it's something I got taught in my mindfulness course, very useful, and I find it involves a lot of mental will. Oh, so Theo is familiar, Lauren, with that technique of the 5 4 3 2 1. I wish I could share tips, but I'm feeling quite broken at the moment, Mr. Friend says. Hey, well, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here, and we don't want you to feel that way, but we're glad you're here and that you're even participating. That is something. Your participation, your involvement, your kind words to other people, your gratitude to other people, that's very beautiful. We cannot discount those things, folks. Like, that's really nice. And I appreciate you saying that and being here. Or excuse me, Kate says, I can't stop eating junk food. I hear you. I totally hear you because I have a sweet and salty tooth. I've shared it a few times on this channel. And yeah, it's nothing I'm proud of, that's for sure, and I wish that, I had a grown-up palate. I wish I had an adult palate that wasn't like, "Oh, I could use some popping candies right now," and some it's odd. Kenneth Ford says, "There's a quote about idle hands and anxiety. Was anxiety a thing 50 years ago?" Ah, Kenneth Ford is bringing some insight here. Anxiety, that's a really good point. Idle hands, no, maybe not having a hobby. I think when people are consuming too much content and not having any other outlet like a book or going for walks or having a hobby, painting, maybe you guys can share some of your hobbies that you like to do outside of the screen time that can give us ideas and stuff. Hopefully the weather's warming up where you live too. And because idle hands, I would agree. That's something I say, having a hobby and things that you're interested in and creating, it's really important. It does keep you in creative mode as opposed to consume mode where we're just consuming. So I love that you wrote that. Skibbity, Kate says she needs to make things interesting, or right? Skibbity. My name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada. It's 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're sharing anything you want to share right now. This is kind of like a free for all. Like I said, my throat hurts. I'm glad you're here. And some of us are feeling low, some of us are feeling you know, um, tired. There's such a wide range. Some of us are bored, some of us are struggling with something. Oh, that's part of the human experience, it feels like. And maybe that means we're alive. It means we're alive, and it's another story and a thing we're going to overcome and get through. And then we have a story later on. Mr. Friend says, exercise helps me a lot, but I feel so tired after. I can't do anything productive. Ah, I wonder then if you should switch your exercise schedule. Like maybe do you work out in the morning? Maybe you should do it in the afternoon, like around 3 if you had that option, or on your lunch break. Maybe switching the schedule might help. Theo says, or Dark TWB says, I like video editing. Which I guess is still kind of screen time involving my favorite shows to my favorite music, blah, blah, blah. I also like reading recently. Of course, journaling is important. Yay. But Theo, that's good. I feel like I do. I know editing is not like, because I find creating a hobby, but when you're creating, you're on a screen a lot. So, I can see that pull of like, hey, does this count as like a hobby if we're trying to get off our screen time? So, yeah, that's an interesting one too. And I feel that maybe we have to have something in addition to the editing, but like you said, the journaling, I love it too. And reflecting, and now some outside time, maybe you like the bicycle. Kate says, everything hurts, like, or sorry, everything hurts. Life is pain for me. No, no, you know what? It's not. Let's say that you've gone through some things, but you have to focus on the good. If we don't remind ourselves about the good things that we can notice, nothing else is going to remind us. No one else is going to tell us. It really is up to us to choose what we focus on. And even if you have two, three good things, people in your life, an income, a roof, Wi-Fi, you have the ability to learn anything you want with Wi-Fi. I know you have Wi-Fi. Imagine Wi-Fi. The possibilities are endless if we use it for good. That's why I like these live streams. I want to use the internet for good. I want to encourage you to use the internet for good. Lauren says, I love a good book. Yeah, absolutely. But it's got to be really good. I do find that if it's not something that holds my interest, I won't read it. And lately, I haven't even been able to have free time to read because I've been doing other things. And I don't want that to be like, oh, when things slow down, I'll start reading again. I don't think that's a good strategy either. I think I need to kind of reevaluate some things. Theo says, what's your favorite kind of books, Lauren? That's great. Hey, guys, if you have any books that you want to share or recommend, please do put that in the chat. Then we can grab something from this live stream and it can continue and have a ripple effect. Good call, Theo. Mr. Friend says, Dark, I feel like the same. I like video games, but I don't want, to spend more time on the screen. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's that struggle, right? We do want to have things that we enjoy as a hobby, but what if it does involve a screen? Where's that loophole there? And maybe there's no right or wrong answer. Only you will know if you need less screen time. I think that's safe to say as adults for the most part. Only we will know if we could use some less screen time. I know I can, because even when I'm doing chores or driving, I listen to either music or a podcast like all the time. So ideally, it would be, I know, and I've tried some things where I'm not doing that. And there's a lot of value there. There's a lot of insight there. Mr. Friend says, Kate, praying for you. See, Mr. Friend's praying for Kate. Praying for Kate. That's beautiful. I love that you guys are rooting for each other and looking out for each other. Dark TWD or Theo says, trust me, Mr. Friend, video games are an addiction to me, especially strategy games. Oh, like Stellaris. I try to set a time and day where I just drop off. Productivity and do whatever I want. Oh, that's a good tip that maybe we have a time slot. And that's true for the phone too. And maybe that's true for editing because with editing, you can keep going. With video games, you can keep going. With podcasts, you can keep going. With music, you can keep going. So, I think that's a good tip for all of us is to have some boundaries, some certain times, or maybe you have to get a handful of things that you want to do first done and then have that time slot. And then we won't have that struggle with it. It's almost like you feel like you've earned it. You feel like you've gotten all the important things done. That's a really great tip, I think, for all of us. And I can see that in a lot of ways that we can apply that, which is usually gaming. Lauren says, my favorite author is Sophie Kinsella. I hope I'm saying that right, but I like Martina Cole, Andy McNabb, and kind of bios, army or war books. I just like something that keeps me gripped. Oh, that's exciting. What a range. That's really cool. Okay, Kenneth Ford says Adrian's Undead Diary. Oh my gosh, I'm not even sure what this means. Kate's got some screens and some X's. Theo says, being honest with ourselves is so hard, but so freeing. Yeah. And when we're honest, that's how we know when we have to make a change or when there's something that needs some addressing, some areas that need. And that's the whole thing is just this interesting human experience. It really is interesting. And do we make it a bigger deal in some areas? Like we overcomplicate things, we overthink things. Hey, you want to play a video game sometime? Like, play it. But you want to make sure you do your other stuff first. And same with editing, and same with anything on the screen. We can't villainize, if that's the correct term, vilify. We can't vilify the screen. We have to learn to have a good relationship with it and set boundaries, probably like everything and anything. Mr. Kate, or excuse me, Kate says, thank you, Mr. Friend. Oh, you're welcome, Kate. I love that you guys look out for each other, and I apologize if I'm in backlog. Lauren, I'm enjoying a lot of historical war books too. What's your favorite era of history to read? Oh, Kate's only 1 year old. Oh my God, then you are a super genius if you're able to type and spell. Second World War, Lauren says. That's the kind of era. That's beautiful. Zubalu says, being honest with yourself sounds a bit like you're two different people. I do feel like I guess that's an interesting way of putting it, that we feel like two different people, but I think that, gosh, how would you explain that? There is almost like I don't know about you, but I feel like a lot of people have it. It's sometimes it's almost like your higher self saying like, oh, you should drink water, you don't need a pop or something like that. What, this pull and pull or tug or it it's a form of a second person, it sounds like, right? But it's not. It's the observer and the observed. You are not that person. That's really too deep right now for me under this feeling that I'm having. But that's an interesting perspective. I love that. Lauren says, I'm massive into reading about the troubles in Ireland too. Oh, wow. Zubalu says, if you have a foundation of integrity and truth, then you don't need to be honest with yourself because you're always the same. Ah, I think that perspectives change. And I don't know if perspective and honesty, I wouldn't call it that. But I do think that as each day passes, you have a new understanding of things. And then you can kind of look at stuff about yourself and look at it from a different perspective, which is a form of honesty and looking at it from a different perspective. So, but I appreciate your tip and your feedback. Yeah, we put on a persona for others, Mr. Friend says. I do feel like there are people that do that more than others. It's an interesting one. Some people, I do think though, we have to be different depending on where we are in terms of how much of ourselves we show, depending on where we are. We can't be the same with a stranger. Well, we could, but we have to be mindful of that. I don't think people are naturally as comfortable with a stranger as they would with somebody else. So I think that almost happens like incidentally, if you will. I don't know if it's a persona. Lauren says also Tudor Times, 1800s London. Ooh, is interesting. Wow. I bet you'd be a great movie director, Lauren. You'd be able to come up with some good movies. Kate says PVZ or PVZ. You're going to have to tell me. Zubalu says, yes, 100%. I love your openness. Yeah, you know what I noticed about life too is that nothing is black or white anymore. There's so much gray area and nuance, and depending on what words we're using, like the meaning behind it. Sometimes one of us can say a word and you have a different perspective of that word than I do, which would kind of change a little bit the whole thing. So that's why I think it's important that we don't expect others to think or believe like us, because we need to give them more of the benefit of the doubt and just know everyone has a different experience, different vocabulary, different meaning behind the vocabulary. Theo Dark TWB says, Lauren, both interesting times. I like my history as it relates to modern empire, like British, Spanish, etc. Blah blah blah. I think both of you guys could like do like a really cool movie or something. If you have all that history and interest, that sounds like something my husband would be interested in. Kate says, this is all just a bad dream and you're never waking up. Oh no. I think that this dream, we have a lot of control over what this experience is, what we experience in life. Two people could be in the same room and literally experience two different things. They're each paying attention and noticing completely different things. So don't discredit your perception as power. It's your reality. It really is. And you have a lot of power. You have much more power than we think. Let's see. Lauren says, very interesting. To where are you from? Theo, Lauren's asking where you're from. Mr. Friend says, my favorite authors are Paulo Coelho. I hope I'm saying that right. And Carlos Ruiz Zafran. Ooh, what genre is that? Remind me. Dark TWD or Theo says, definitely altering or shifting our persona is definitely important depending on the situation. For safety, for sensitive situations, absolutely. And even clothing can be in that same category. What you'd wear to the beach is not what you'd wear to work. What you wear to work, isn't what you would wear to necessarily a party, maybe, but it's all like a time and place. I don't think it's fake to let's say typically you say bad words and now you go to a work event. You're not going to just be like, hey, I'm just being myself. You would be more cautious of the words you use because it's a professional event, right? For example. So I do think there's that's a very reasonable thing, and it means you're conscious of your environment, like you said, for safety, for professional reasons, for sure. Lauren says history is just so interesting, Robin. I'm a secret geek. Yay! I feel like that's more intelligent. I feel like people that are interested in that stuff, you probably are more interesting to speak to. Like my husband has all these facts and all these things. It seems like he knows a little something about every single thing on the planet. And I think it's cool, actually. It makes for good conversation. So all of our hobbies, all the topics that we're interested in, all the quirks about us, that's what makes us interesting as humans. And we shouldn't look to try to be like others or like the same things or expect to. I think it makes us more interesting this way. So I love that. Dark TW says, I'm from the UK, haha, specifically England. Ha, oh, you? Lauren's like, ha, ditto, both from England. Can you imagine? Isn't that amazing? Pablo, Kate says, Pablo. Mr. Friend says, Pablo Coelho writes fables and, oh my God, is it allegories focused on, ooh, spirituality? I hope I said that name right. I'm not familiar with that term, but it sounds interesting. I love you guys recommending books. This is using the internet for good, folks. No? This is using the internet for good. We've got some authors, some interests, some people connecting over common ground, some people connecting over different perspectives. That's what I love this whole live stream. I feel like it energized me. I logged in or signed on, I forgot the term. I began this live stream um feeling really unwell. Sore throat. I could feel myself getting sick, and it's just so much beauty and kindness in the comments, and it's beautiful. Let's see. Mr. Friend says Carlos Rios Saffron writes historical fiction. Ah, so you guys love the similar genre. I appreciate what you've created here, Dark TWD, or Theo says. Ah, what's one plus one? Ooh, Kate says, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I feel like that we have it's we, it's not me. It's we. I feel like we created this here because if it wasn't for you folks, it would be completely different. I can't take credit for that. It does feel like I'm the middleman and I do obviously all the talking, but your voice matters and everything you write in the chat gets read, even when it's some harsh stuff. And we work through it right on the live stream and we get through it. And I appreciate that some of these things can feel uncomfortable when we read it and say it, but we get through it through kindness. And we end up seeing a lot of the times in the chat, these same people that come in harsh, leave lighter or kinder or offer, heart emojis or just shifted their perspective, which I think is really cool. I think the world right now is very dependent on being understood. You have to understand me. You need to get my point across. And people that don't agree with each other can't be friends or have a conversation. And that's the part that we're changing here. So thank you for this. Bye. We love you, Kate says. Oh, thank you. I love you guys, and I'm glad you're here. I'm going to go in a couple minutes, but if there is anything that you want to say, if there is anything you want to put out there, any tips, any books, advice for your younger self, if you could tell your younger self something, if you could tell yourself a year ago something, or what if you knew your life was going to work out the way you want it? What would you do differently? Let's say, like, you came from a time machine, okay, and was like, hey, don't worry, everything you want is going to be even better than you think. What would you do differently right now if that was something that came up to you? Oh, Kate says, no, don't go. Oh, you know what? My son and husband are going to be home soon because their appointment was at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and it's 5:37. So I just have to make sure he doesn't have chicken pox, guys. Well, I mean, I shouldn't have said that. Let's just make sure the boy is okay and it's nothing crazy. Um, Dark TWD or Theo says, I do see that a lot of people who come into streams, yeah, seem to shift their perspective. Absolutely. And we are not trying to impose our beliefs on others. And that's what I love about this stream too. I'm not expecting anyone that joins this stream to think like me or agree with me. Everyone gets a voice. We talk it through, we move forward. It's all good. And I love that part. And sometimes people's perspectives do shift, or at least they open, or they release that need to be understood or that need for someone to think like them. And it's a really beautiful thing to watch in real time, literally in real time on a live stream. That's why I know we can use the internet for good if we're intentional with the content we follow, with the limits like we've discussed here today. How many minutes do you want to spend on YouTube today? Then you put your phone down in a different room and you go for a walk, or you drink some water today, or you draw a picture, or you listen to music. I don't know. What would you do? Tell me. Oh, yes, The Alchemist, Mr. Friend says. I've got to put that on hold of the library because I was sharing earlier that I've been finding it hard to read. And I don't want to say, oh, in my free time, I'm going to read, but because right now I'm working on other things. And like I said, we have an auto reform in our province and it's changing and making my job harder. And um, yeah, life's about to change. So I felt like, oh, I haven't been able to read for a while, but I don't want that to be like, I mean, who knows how long this is going to last for. So it's important to set time for all the important things and all the things you want. So The Alchemist, absolutely. Theo says there are things I would do differently, but at the same time, I am who I am because of my experiences also. It's a very conflicting idea. Or maybe it's not because we can't change it anyway. But I see what you're saying. And I agree. I feel like all the bad choices I may have made, or all the rough things, or the gross things that I wish never happened, or any of these terrible things, death, sickness, any of the stuff I've ever had to see or go through, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person I am today, the person that's doing live streams like this. Like listen, I'm not perfect. Still make a lot of mistakes, but I am a good person. So I can take a lot of comfort in like, hey, maybe I am because of that. So Oh God. Kate, thank you. You wrote this at the perfect time. Kate says, I farted in my dad's breathing machine and his lungs turned black. Yikes, Kate. That is harsh. Let's hope that's not true. Lauren says, I was literally just typing a similar comment, Dark TWE or Theo. HM Fakir says, hi, I'm glad you're here. Mr. Friend says, I find it hard to read. Concentrating is difficult. It's good that you admit that because it's something that you can work on. It's something that you can work on. I think puzzles would help. And admittedly, I suck at that stuff and I'm terrible with that. I'm the last person that wants to do a puzzle, but I have a feeling that puzzles would help unlock something that's in me with that. I'm good at focusing when I have to focus at work and things that I'm doing at a time, but I also have a lot of ideas. And so that means my mind sometimes is too full. So I think a puzzle would help somebody like me. Perhaps it would help somebody like you. You never know. Theo says, my bad, bro. HM Fakir says, what's this, sister? Try to say here. We're just having an open conversation of whatever we want to talk about right now. Puzzles are a good idea, Mr. Friend says. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if the things what we know are challenging for us might be something that we need. I definitely think that I could use that. Definitely. Even for like Alzheimer's, what are those other ones? Dementia. We've had some experiences with that and it's really tough. And if those are the types of things we can do in our free time, I used to have a little bin of things where I did like that and I would write with my left hand. If you want something that's easy, you don't have to buy anything. Or excuse me, if you're left-handed, if you're right-handed, if you write with the opposite hand, on a piece of paper, watch how much your brain has to concentrate. Write your name, your whole name and address and phone number with your non-dominant hand on a piece of paper after this live stream and let me know how much concentration that took. I had a coloring book where I used to, and it was like a kid's coloring book because you can't do a tight coloring book with your opposite hand. I had like a kid's coloring book and I used to try to color it with my left hand to sort of focus and work the other side of the brain, as they say. Again, I'm not sure, do your own research, but I could see how hard that was. Maybe that's a thing we should do. Maybe I should create a little like vlog or idea again. I have it somewhere on my channel from years ago, that little basket that I used to use. I should find that video and do these things again. We need to do these things for ourselves. I love this, guys. Hi, sisters. Kate says, that's a fantastic idea, Theo says. Nice idea. I try this. Yeah, try it. And we don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy a puzzle. You can just use your non-dominant hand. And you already have paper and a pen, so it's really cool. It's really interesting. Yeah, I got to do that again. See, thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me of these simple things that I have lost my way with because of everything with my job and what I'm doing here and what I'm working on. So I appreciate you reminding me of this. Mr. Friend says, I have to go. Take care, everyone. Robin, I really appreciate your help. Yeah, hope Tommy's okay. Thank you, Mr. Friend. Good night. I'm out too soon. So good night. And I'm glad you're here. Theo says there's a study out there about the left side, right side of the brain controlling different hands or something like that. Very interesting. If only I paid attention in psychology class. Laugh out loud. Yeah, exactly. I imagine that there are things literally at our fingertips that we already have. I say this all the time, and it's like I needed the reminder too. We have everything we need. We have everything we need to survive. We have everything we need to thrive. We have everything we need to learn, to grow, to get stronger, to be smarter, to make a healthy choice. We already know what we have to do. We already have it. Can you imagine? We already have it. And we always think we have to buy something or watch something or do something to get it. But I would love to close this live stream with reminding us all, and I needed the reminder, is that we have everything we already need to thrive. So I love that. And Kate is closing with some very wise words. Thank you for being here, everyone. This has been incredible. Good night, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We'll close with Kate. Poop. That's deep. Thank you. This was fun, and I appreciate it.